Hello, lads. Time for an intense evening or night game development session. So, what are we gonna do today? It's gonna be a sort of a doodle jump thing. Okay, so this is the game. Fire jump. I'm gonna call doodle jump right away. That's gonna be GameMaker projects. Gonna be right here. Interesting. I already start with like a couple of warnings, couple of suggestions. Okay, whatever. Let's go. So this game is gonna look something like that. Probably exactly like that. So let's start. Create a new fire jump. Okay, create an important assets. Do I have the assets? Mobile gamer? Yeah, it does. Let's check the assets. Okay. There is a room game, room menu, room pre-menu. Great. Some sprites. Fire particle. Great. Got all of that. And the building. Where's the building? Oh, it's not in the building. It's just like sprite window. Okay, let's try to open it. Sub images, sprite, blah blah blah. Origin point. The window doesn't move or rotate, so the origin point should not matter in that regard. However, we'll use the origin point to spawn civilians and fire on the window. To make sure that they are placed right on top of the window sill, we need to place the origin point atop the sill as well, right in the middle. Drag the origin pointer from the top left corner of the image and place it here. It is already here. I guess it was like here, but okay. We need to import one final image, just as we did. Creates a sprite brick tile. Sprite brick tile. Brick. There we go. And import the file name. This will be the brick image and game's background. Okay, object. An object. Do I have any objects yet? Let's see. Objects. Yeah, there are plenty of objects. Okay, so I can actually skip it, all of that. Backgrounds. Instances. Okay, that's all fine. Layers. Top layer. Player. Okay, that's all good. Two of the most important features, events and actions. Actions are used to program your object. You can use an action to tell the object to move, jump, rotate, destroy itself, and so on. This is a pretty simple concept, however, there is one question that makes it a little complicated. When do we run an action? As a solution to the problem, GameMaker has events. You'll see the events window with an add event button that opens up a list of all the available events. Any of these events can be added to the object, any number of actions can be placed inside of an event. Each event has its own behavior as to when it runs. For example, oh, Mr. Crack, I see you've got a Prime Gaming. Does it mean you can sub to me? Also, I think I can make you a mod. I forgot it last time. Are you still there? Twitch tells me that you are under Prime Gaming. Can you sub to me for free? Like, click sub Prime or something like that? Did you sub to someone else, really? Why? Like, why? You know what? Just to make you feel bad, I'll still make you a mod here, so that you knew like what's what. Who cares about the? Yeah, I'll just make you a mod, and you're gonna feel guilty. You're now a mod. Congratulations. You're a mod who is not even subbed to me. And you sub to someone else. Great, great. Okay. There are also input events that run based on keyboard and mouse input. This enables us to easily create controllable characters by adding actions to such events. We're gonna move to program our player to do two things. Automatically jump on creation, move left or right depending on keyboard's input. Let's start with the first one. Go into object player and in the events window, click on add event. And the list that opens, click on create and add event and add that event into the object. Okay. Object player. I need to add events. On create to add events. Okay, so oh, it's here already. Doesn't mean I can play the game already. Yeah, this looks pretty working to me. So this is how the game is gonna look like. What? How did it work? It costs 1 sub. Okay, that's all cool and stuff, but I wanted to make this game myself, so close project. Okay, I'm gonna prepare everything. New game. Doodle. Jump. That's good. Now I need to import everything there. Where can I download all of that stuff? Okay, right here. GameMaker compressed something something. What is that? Uh, okay, looks like a... Okay, I failed. I need to redo the whole thing again. Okay, I found all the assets. Great. GameMaker projects. Delete this one. New game. Doodle. Jump. Main. Let's go. Okay, now we want to import all of this thing. To do that, I'll create a doodle jump assets this folder. I'm gonna click on File, Edit, Build, Windows Tools. Can actually just drag and drop this entire thing here. Yes. Open Explorer. Oh. Okay, did it work? No, I don't think it worked. Let's try again. Okay, looks like I have to add them by hand. Animations. I guess this is gonna go into animations curves. No. Okay, let's do it following the guide. Apparently I can't do that alone. So, we are back at the beginning. As a browser, blah blah, creating and importing assets. Let's start by creating a sprite, which is an image asset that can be used for in-game objects and animations. Select the sprites group, create asset, click on sprites, create a new sprite called sprite player air. We're gonna use this as our player's in-air image. Okay, let's do it. Oh, yeah, I remember how I was doing it last time. I had it. Minimized, not minimized, not not maximized. That's how I had it. So I create a new sprite. Sprite. No, not scripts. Sprite. Sprite. Add. And I want to add a sprite. Create. It's gonna be named sprite player air. Okay, good. So, in the workspace on the left, you'll see a sprite editor open up. Here you can rename the sprite, change its size, and use the edit image option to open the image editor, which will allow you to draw on that sprite. We're gonna use import option to load an external image file, which will be imported as our player's in-air sprite. Click on import, navigate to the assets folder that you downloaded from, and from a character folder, select sprite player air. Okay, let's do it. So import. Gonna be right here. Doodle jump assets. Art. Character. Sprite player air. Yes. Awesome, got him. You'll see the imported image in the sprite preview pane. Here we need to adjust its origin, which is the point on the sprite that it rotates around. For this sprite, we want its origin to be at the center. So open the drop-down menu in the top right corner of the sprite editor where it says top left and change it to middle center. Okay, let's do it. Drop-down menu in the top right corner, top left, and change it to middle center. Okay. I can't imagine you didn't sub to me, but you sub to some random dude. Mr. Crack. I wasn't expecting such a betrayal from you. Okay. You'll see the imported image in the sprite preview pane. Here we need to adjust its origin. Okay, I did that. Let's import the images for the window that the player will jump on. Select the sprites group in the asset browser, go into the create asset menu and add a new sprite. We'll call this sprite window. In the sprites editor, click on import and navigate to the sprites folder for this tutorial. We're not going to import just one image, but 3. These are variations of the same window, which will show based on what kind of window it is. Okay, let's do it. Create a sprite. It's gonna be named sprite window. Sprite window. Click on import and navigates to the sprite folder for this tutorial. Import. And I need some sprite folder. So the sprites folder for this tutorial, we're not going to import just one image, but 3. Okay, so this should be in buildings. In the buildings folder, select the file sprite window 0, 1, 2, click open, which should import those 3 images into the same sprite asset as sub images. Okay. Open. Yes. Sub images are usually for animated sprites, which we will do for another sprite in this tutorial. However, this is not animation, so we're going to set FPS at the top left corner of the sprite editor to 0. Doing this ensures that your sprite doesn't animate when it's used in game. FPS 0. We also need to set an origin point for the sprite. The window doesn't move, rotate. Okay, I already read that before, so it's gonna be middle center. No, it's not gonna be middle center. It's gonna be right. Where does he have it? I think he has it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like the very middle line, but I can't really set it there. And he has it slightly towards the right. Okay, that should be correct. With that done, we need to import one final image for this part of the tutorial. Just as we did with the previous sprites, create a new one called sprite brick tile and import the file with the same name from tutorial sprites folder. This will be the brick image that is tiled as the game's background. Okay, let's do that. Right. Sprite brick tile. Import. Yes. Perfect. We have imported 3 game elements: the jumping player, the window that the player will jump off, and a brick sprite that will be tiled in the background. We're going to add them to our game. However, these are only images. And to program the behavior of our player and windows, we need to create objects. Objects. An object can act as a visual part of the game that has a sprite attached to it to control how it appears, and a list of events to control what it does. Our player and window will be objects, and they will use the sprites that we have imported. However, objects can also be used as non-visual controls that have no sprites attached, but still have a list of events performing their behaviors in the background. Let's create our first two objects. Select the object group in the asset browser, go into create asset menu at the top, and create 2 objects, objects player and object window. Okay, let's do that. Object. Create an object. Object player. And another. Object window. Window. In the workspace, you will see the object editor open up for each object you have created. Under the sprite section of the object editor, you can click on no sprite to open the asset explorer, where you can select sprite to be assigned to the object. So go ahead and use the sprite player error for object player and sprite window for object window. Okay, let's do that. Object player, no sprite. Okay, that works. I misclicked it twice, but it was just in the right spot. The game room. Now that we have the basic objects that we need, we're gonna set up our game room. A room is an asset that serves as the game screen. So for example, you can have one room for the main menu and another for the game. You can easily switch between rooms, and the currently active room will appear in the game's window. In the asset browser, open the rooms group, and you'll see that there is already a room present. Let's rename it. First, right click on it and select rename, and name it RM game. Double click on the room asset to open the room editor. Okay. Room, rename, RM game. Double click it. Okay. On the left, you have the room properties, and in the center, the main room area. This space is what you will see when you run your game, and this is where we want our game to take place. First of all, let's adjust the size of this room, which will be the resolution of our game. Go into room settings at the bottom left corner of the ID and set the width and the height to 180 and 1920. Okay, room settings at the bottom left corner of the ID. Found it. That wasn't that hard. Tiled background. Now that we have an appropriately sized room, let's give it a background so it's not black anymore. Go into the layers section in the top left corner of the room editor, and you'll see the two default layers, instances and background. Okay, I see them. We're gonna look at the instances layer soon, but let's first assign a background image to our room. Select the background layer, and just below the layer section, you will see the background layer properties. Click where it says no sprites, which will open up the asset explorer, similar to one we used in the object editor. Here you can select a sprite to assign as the room's background. So go into sprites group and select sprite brick tile. You'll notice that the tile appears in the room, but only in its top left corner. To tile it all over the room, go into the background layer properties and enable both horizontal tile and vertical tile. Doing that will fill the room with the brick tile. Okay, let's do that. So background. No sprite. Vertical, horizontal. Yeah. There is a background now. You know what? I think I'm gonna do it like that. And this is gonna be this. Okay. Let's try again. This side. Perfect. Perfect. Can I F11 on this? No. Yeah, I can't really do that. Right, let's just stick to this. And this is gonna be this. Okay. Sup? I was discussing how could you give your sub to someone else? Sub. Sub. I knew it, you have nothing to say. I knew it all along. Instances. When you place... I wasted years helping you out. What do you mean? Years. As well as space. So like it's like it should be automatic. You should automatically sub to me. Like, come on. Anyway, back to game development. When you place an object in the room, it becomes an instance of that object. This means that you can have one object asset and place multiple instances of it in a room, which with each instance having its own unique properties. Instances are placed in the instances layer, and the instances layer that is present in the layers section in one such layer. Select that layer and drag in the window object from the asset browser. Okay, instances, object window. Is it the right? Yeah, it's vertical, right? Background. Yeah. 1080 by 1920. Where was it? 1080. Width and height 1080 1920. Width and height. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so instances. Moving the thing. You have a window instance now. Drag in some more and create a lineup of windows on the building for our player to climb on. Okay. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. Shame on you, man. How could you not also sub to me? That's like a given. Not even a choice not to do that. But still appreciate the sub. Okay, back to some action. Well, you now have 3 icons. You're a mod, you're a founder, and you have Prime Game. Okay. Hold on. What is this? Why is it there? Two. Okay, that's an extra one. Okay, where's our player though? Let's add it's in as well, but in a new layer. Create a new instance layer using the buttons at the bottom of the layers panel and name its player. Press F2 or select rename, blah blah blah. Make sure that it is placed above the instances layer. And if it's not, you can simply drag it on top. Okay, so player. Create a new instance layer. Create a new instance layer. How do I do that? How do I create an instance layer? This one. And this is gonna be named player. There we go. Why are we creating a new layer? The order of the layers determines when its instances are drawn, so placing a layer higher in the list ensures that it is drawn above the other layer. This means that our player layer will be drawn above the instances layer to ensure that the player instance appears above the windows. Yeah, the same thing. The one on top is more important. So if I move backgrounds to higher than the instances, then all the windows are gonna disappear. Dragging the player object into the player layer to create an instance and place it somewhere around the bottom center area of the room. Your room should be looking something like this now. Okay, player, object player. There we go. Now that the room is ready, let's see how we can program the behavior of our object. You know what? I'm not gonna see it. I'm gonna test it first. Let's test it. How is it gonna behave? Perfect. Does this look like a mobile ad game? Can I sell it? $1.99. I should have had a loading bar here. Like it's loading something. It's gonna never load. Oh, so bad, so bad. It's gonna have a loading bar here. It's gonna have a clickable and fully working button shop here. A button here to remove the ads. While there are no ads there, there's just gonna be a single button with no ads. And what else? And a sub to my Twitch. It's gonna be the best game. Okay. Events and actions. Man, being a game designer is so cool. You can actually do anything you want. Like, it's random, silly idea you have, just do it, man. What's gonna stop you? Every time you jump on a window, please. You know what? I've actually seen a game like that. It wasn't like Doodle Jump, it was something different, but after you completed every single level, and level lasted like, I don't know, 7 seconds, you had an ad. I think it was like a racing game or something like that. And it was like, okay, I perfectly remember what game was it. It was like the mountain bike game where you have to jump over the obstacles and get to the end point. And it was like, each level was pretty quick. And anytime you completed a level, it was complete. It would play a 15-second ad, and you can go into level 2. So like, your ad watching time was twice longer than your playing time. Man, I really need to add a background, because like, you really can't see anything here. Hold on, let me... I think I can do it here, right? Chat overlay. You know what? I think I found a good one. Chat background opacity. Gonna be 15 seconds. Copy. And this is a link. Added in the link. Yo, Miss Lang, Mr. Crab, write something. Write like 5 messages or in a row. I mean, type. No, it's okay. Never mind. Let's try again. What now? Okay, I need to make it darker. Hold on. You're not gonna be timed out. You're a mod. You can do whatever you want here. Let's have like a T% opacity. Copy. Launch. Edit the link. Refresh. Close. Okay. Try now. Try now. Yeah, I don't actually like how... Is it good enough? I think I need to make it a bit darker, right? 50. How about this? Okay. I think this is perfect. Is it? Is it good? I don't want to make it black because if it is black, then it's just blocking the entire thing. I could make it smaller, I guess. Is it alright? Is it not too small? Perfect. Yeah, it is. Now it is readable. Okay, I need to go to the toilet quickly. Be right back. I'm back. Oh, Mr. Crack, I have a story to tell. Are you ready for the story? Apparently not. Okay. Events and actions. We're going to take a look at two most important features. Events and actions. Actions, I already read that. I add that, read that. Okay. We're going to program our player to do two things. Automatically jump on creation, move left to right. Let's start with the first one. Go into object player. And in the events window, click on add event. Add event, create. Don't ask again for this project. GML visual. Okay. The toolbox panel to the right shows, I already read that before. Set speed. Okay, let's go. Set speed. Gonna be fast. Buffer fast. No, that's not what I want. Using this action, we could tell the object's instance to move in any given direction. We wanted to have vertical spin in the beginning so it can jump up. And to achieve that, we need to set the type of this action to vertical. Before we give it a speed hover, let's look at how movement works. Moving around. Our room has two dimensions, one horizontal and the other vertical, hence resulting in a 2D game. We use these two dimensions to move our instances around the room. The horizontal dimension is called the x-axis, and the vertical dimension is called the y-axis. Coordinates are usually written on the xy format. Oh, it's different as in a real. In a real, it's y-x. Not z, if I remember correctly. But whatever. If it just says 20 pixels on the x-axis, 10 on y, it would be written as 2010. Okay. Room coordinates start from the top left corner of the room, which is 0, 0. The coordinates, the x value increases as you move to the right, the y increases and you move down. This means that to move an instance, we need to add or subtract its position on the x or y axis. Plus x adds to the right, blah blah blah. Okay, jumping. After setting type to vertical, we need to specify a speed for the instance's vertical axis. Since we need to subtract from the y-axis to move it up, we're gonna enter minus 35 as the speed. A lot of speed! This action will make our player to move up the speed of minus 35. If you're on the game now, you'll only see the player moving up, as we haven't implemented gravity to make it fall down. So let's do that. Okay, let's run the game. Whoa! Let's try again. Pew! I want to make it like zoom. Let's add a bunch of 9s. And it's gone. Okay, maybe that's a lot of zoom. 350. Let's try that. And there it goes. I wasn't sure if it would... Yeah, okay, okay. Run the game, F5. Okay, we need to use set gravity force action, which is present in the... Oh, you're back. So, I have a story to tell. You know how when you buy groceries and, like, it's, for example, vegetables, you're going on weight to weigh them. Yesterday, I bought a pan and the thing where you boil spaghetti. By weighing them, I got their weight. It gave me, yeah, a pot. Not a pot. It's something different. But like, I weighed them, like the pan and the pot. Let's say, It gave me the price of each based on its weight. And I went to the cashier and like she beeped it, and that's how I bought. That was really weird. I've never did that before, but like, yeah, that's what Carrefour does for some reason. It also had like a big discount or something like that, and it was quite cheap. It was like $20 for each, which is like super cheap. But it was a unique experience. Okay. I need to set gravity. It's all density pricing figure. Okay. Keep in mind that you always search for the action, and once you found it, drag blah blah blah. The force of gravity can simply be 1. But feel free to change this and the initial vertical speed, as this is your game and you can make it feel... I want to double it straight away. I want to double it. Let's do that. Let's make it super fast. Yay! You know what? Let's make it at 20. Ew. Okay, now I need a 700. Boo! Okay. I think -70 and 2 is fine. Cool. Let's stick to -35 actually. This is what your create event from the game will now show the player jump and then fall down. What we need now is a way for it to move horizontal and bounce off the windows. Horizontal movement. We want the player to move horizontally using the left and right arrows, as mentioned in the part on events and actions. GameMaker has events for keyboard and mouse input. We're going to use a couple of them for our left and right arrows. In the event window for object player, click on add event. Go on the key down, left. Key down, left. This will add the events to your event list. Repeat to the right. Okay. Key down, right. These events are to left and right, blah blah blah. Going to key down left event. You can double click it, and here search for the set instance variable. That's this one. No, assign variable. No. Delete. Set instance. It's this one. This section allows us to modify any one of the instance properties, also known as instance variables. And the property that we need to modify should be selected from the given list. Make sure that x coordinate is selected as the variable, and in the value field enter -15. Then check the relative box so it is enabled. Okay, x -15 relative. I can do the same for the right away. I'll just copy, paste, and this one is going to be 15. Great. Let's try to move it. Woo. Oh. This is actually happening quite fast. Oh yeah, I didn't set the proper gravity. Okay, and D doesn't work. Let's try again with the arrows this time. Oh, I can move. Cool. Bouncing off windows. To keep the player going, we want it to jump again when it comes in contact with the window. In GameMaker, such event is known as collision, so we can use that to make the player jump when it collides with the window. Click on Add Event in Object Player and go onto Collision. Add Event, Collision, Objects, Object Window. Okay. Whenever it comes in contact, we will make the player jump when this event runs, but before we do that, let's learn about masks. Masks. Oh, that's something new. It wasn't used before. Each object has a mask which is used as its hitbox. This mask determines whether it's colliding with any other instance. By default, the mask is retrieved from the object's sprite. Unluckily, the sprite editor lets us adjust the mask of a sprite. In this browser, go into Sprites group and find the sprite window asset. Then double click on it to open the sprites editor. On the left of the editor, you will see a few closed menus, one of which is collision mask. If you open it, you will see that the image is overlaid with transparent black box, which is simply the sprite's mask. Okay, let's do it. Object window. I needed to sprite window. There. Collision mask. I know what I want to listen to. Maybe this is gonna be a bit mean. Who cares? I have no idea what is the big squeaking sound. And also it's probably copyrighted. So, no. I doubt it. Oh, yeah, I got it. You mean the sound where it goes like... This one, yeah? No, no, that's one. Of course not. Okay. If you open it, you'll see the image, overlaid transparent box, blah, blah, blah. Okay, collision mask. Get bigger. Man, this track is amazing. All of his tracks are like... Okay, there, I see it. By default, it's as large as the sprite itself, which means that any area of the sprites is able to collide with the other instances. This is usually fine, however, we only want our player to be able to jump on the window still, which is why we need to modify the sprite's mask. Under the collision mask menu, change the mode option from automatic to manual. Now you'll be able to modify the mask's rectangle in the sprite's preview panel by moving it around and changing its size by dragging its corners. Now make sure it only covers the window sill. It doesn't have to be perfect. I actually have no idea how to do that. Automatic to manual. Preview panel. Okay, let's make it not almost not perfect. Whoa, that was quick. I've tried to make it almost not perfect. I failed. Okay, let's do the same for the player. We only want its bottom half to be able to collide with the window and other in-game elements to be added later. So open sprite player, change the mask's mode from to manual and make it look something like this. Okay. Sprite player. This makes me want to play the game. This music is so good. Oh. Okay, manual. It's gonna be that. It always triggered me why people can't create like a perfect collision. So I'm just gonna make one. It is true. Maybe, like, based on the complexity, probably it is the best. Because McGordon is just genius. But if you also add the lore aspects, Warcraft has it pretty damn good as well. But you know what is much better than two of those things? Swords and sandals. And even better than that, what is the name of the game? Age of War. That is like the perfect. You know what? It is so good. I'm gonna pause this. That is so good. Why does it stop playing? Ah. That is so good. It is so like nice and kind, and it has some violence playing. It has like a full orchestra in the background. It is so good. Okay. Let's close this. Let's close the window one. Bounce and collision. Wait a new event in the player object for a collision with the window. Let's add an action in this event. In the toolbox, search for a set speed action and drag it into the event. It is a object player. I'm a bit lost. Where should I add the event? Oh, this one, right, okay. Set speed. Minus 35. Vertical. This will make our player jump whenever it collides with the window. Now run the game. Let's go. Whoa, it works! It works! It works! Man, that's cool, that's cool. I think I need to change the window slightly. Instances? gonna be just from here. I shouldn't have done that. Can't jump high enough now. Okay, let's put it back like that. It should be just enough. Just enough. So that, like, you had no room for air. Oh. Okay. This is just enough. Dun, 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 dun. What is the distance between them? This one is at 160. This is 480. So, man, this sound is so good. It is such a horrible quality. It's like 16 bits on. It's not even deep. It's like there's like 3 instruments there, maybe even 2 plus a vocal. And legend, legend. Okay. Oh wait. Oh, it's even poorly song. And the good. The dude who sang this song is a pretty bad singer. Okay. Let's get back to some good song. Yeah, I mean, no, like considering for the time when the game was released and Swords and Sandals release date, 2005. It was pretty good. So, what is the difference between these two? This one is 160. This one is 480. So there's 320 pixels. So if I want to add, what is this again? 480. 480 plus 320. That should be 800 pixels. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Again, 1888 minus 1184. 704 pixels exactly. So 1184 minus 74, 480. This should be 480 pixels high. Perfect. This will give you just enough room to be able to complete it. So if you do like any mistake, it is pretty forgiving. You know what? I don't like that it is so forgiving. Let's add a mask for it. It's gonna be pretty rough. Let me tell you that. You know what? I have a better idea. Okay, I need to zoom in for this one. Three pixels wide. 3. That's 3 times more than I wanted it to make. So let's try it. If you hesitate for a fraction of a second, you can't do it anymore. Oh, no, you can't do it anymore. Okay, let me adjust it. Room game. I'm gonna make it a bit lower. Let's try like that. Oh, what happened? Let's try again. Okay, this one is too low. Alright, great. Probably I need to make it a bit wider, actually. I don't think GameMaker is able to process, like... Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop screwing around. Let's make it normal. Let's make it the size of a foot, actually. It's gonna be super narrow. No, actually, yeah. Let's make it the size of a foot. Okay. So now moving the window up by a couple of pixels. Okay, it still works. One more. Do you think that's an unnecessary feature? Allowing players to jump before landing? Okay. So. Again. Calculator. 1888 minus 1216. 672 pixels. So 1216 minus 672, that should give me 544. There we go. Let's try it. Okay, no, something's not working. I'm not gonna manually edit it. Yeah, the code is gonna do it for me. Okay. Okay, that's good. That's good. I also don't like the initial speed, which exists when the player is created. So I'm gonna edit it to 20. Yeah, it's gonna be procedurally generated, don't worry. Okay, I think that's just maybe it's a bit too relaxed. Let's try 15. So that you have like almost no time to react. Perfect. There we go. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Yeah, now we can continue to the next step. Flipping. You'll notice the player only ever looks in one direction. Ideally, it should flip to face the direction it's moving in, and adding such a feature is fairly quick. Let's learn a little about scaling first. Every instance in GameMaker has an X scale and Y scale, whereas X scale controls its horizontal size and Y scale controls its vertical size. When they're both set to 1, the instance's scale is unchanged. However, increasing that value will make the instance larger and decreasing it will make it smaller. As you can see in the image above, setting the X scale to -1 flips it around. We can use this technique to make our player face the direction it's moving in. Go into key down left event and the toolbox search for the set instance scale. So key down left scale. um, and drag us into the event. This action will allow us to change the horizontal, vertical scale of the instance. If you open Sprite Player's Sprite, you'll see that all player sprite is facing right by default. This is a default state, which means that uh, when this X scale of instance is set to 1, it will be facing right. This means that we simply need to set its scale to -1 so that it faces right. 1, it will be facing right. -1, so it faces right. There's a typo. A typo? Let's see. Oh, it's facing the different direction. Now let's do the same for the left. For the right, I mean. 1. I had no time to react. It, it, it. It is also binary value. Binary value is when it's either 0 or 1. -1 is a third type of variable. So it should be at least an int. So depending on your display, the window might be too large or too small. By default, you're not able to resize the game window. So let's enable that. And as a browser, go under Quick Access and expand game options and double click on your platform. This will open a new window in the workspace with settings for that platform. On the left, you will see a list of menus. Click on graphics and the options that open up to the right. Make sure that allow window resize is enabled. Okay, quick access. Where's that? Here. Game options. Windows. Graphics. Allow window resize. There's another option here that might be worth enabling. The interpolate colors between pixels options make sure that any scaled graphics appear smooth and that edges between sprites are not jagged. This should be disabled if you're using pixel art. However, for example, we want this to be enabled as we are making use of full resolution art. Whoa. Enabled. Click apply to save your changes and then run your game. Let's see, is there any difference? Uh, no, it wouldn't because it's a scale. Scale can be anything from 0 to infinity. It is not a binary. You can't scale something into exists or not. You're just changing the scale. So effectively what it does is that you have a picture which is this big. It shrinks it to 0 and scales it to -1. So it's a mirror reflection. Like, can I change it here? Uh, no, it's too big now. Edit image. Okay, So I have it selected. I want to select it. I want to select it. Pen? No. There is rectangle select tool. Okay. Let me do it in Paint. I'm not sure if Paint is able to do it, but I'll try. So I have a red line and a black line with a green line. Now I select it. I paste it. And now no, it doesn't do it. I have no idea how to do it here. And I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah, I was checking if there was any difference. I'm thinking if maybe Paint 3D? Paint 3D. I don't have Paint 3D here. Okay. Resize and skew. Okay, let's see. Black. Red. Red. Green. Resize and skew. Between 1 and 500. It doesn't let me do it. Okay, whatever. I think you got what you meant. What I meant. Let's try it without this option now. Oh, I can see some pixelation. And with this option? Oh, 5? Now it's smooth. Ooh, that's cool, that's cool. Yeah, I like... You have no time to hesitate. There. Okay, this game is pretty brutal. I like it. Use synchronization to avoid tearing. It's like VSync? Okay, whatever. Just have half an hour, 20 minutes of streaming left. So, by default, aspect ratio remain the same, which is also something you can change. Okay, view scrolling. You can jump on the windows now, but you can't go past the top boundary of the room. Since this will be an infinite scroller, we want the player to be able to climb as high as they can. To achieve the effect, we're gonna move our instances down to give the illusion that players is moving up. We'll do this when the player reaches the middle of the screen. We'll need to move instances of multiple objects down to give an illusion of the player is moving up. Right now we only have windows, but later we'll add civilians, fires, and other objects. Which will all need to be moved down as the player goes up. This means that we somehow need to group these objects together. Object parenting. GameMaker has a solution for this called object parenting. Basically, you can create a parent object and assign some objects as its children. Any changes you make to the parent object will also be applied to its children. We can use this concept to create a parent object for those objects that need to be moved down. Go into the objects group in your S browser and create a new object called object move parent. We don't need to assign a sprite to this object as it won't appear anywhere. It exists only in the game asset, so we can access its children. Okay, object, create new object, and it should be called object move parent. Now add children to this object. Go into object editor and click on the parent button. This will open a new window where you can assign a parent to this object. However, we want to add a child to it. So click on the plus button to the right of the children section and select object window. Alternatively, you can simply drag in this object from the asset browser and drop it into the children section. So open. Plus. Okay. Object window. Right now, this is the only child that this object has, but when we add more objects later, we can simply add them as children to this objects, and they will automatically move down to... Oh, this reminded me of a joke. Imagine you have like object-parent relationship, like in programming, that's like a normal thing. You have no idea how to remove a child from a parent with, by force without letting the parent know. So you Google that question to the Google. What is the chance FBI is on you after that Google? How to destroy a parent's child? I don't know why. How to destroy a parent's child after it was created? There was also a thing which recently got removed. It was called something like something and a slave. I don't remember which programming language it was. But it was, I think it was, no, I can't remember what it was. Let me Google it. Programming slavery naming. Master and slave. It was on GitHub. I'm just gonna let you read this. Microsoft GitHub is a popular software development platform with 50 million users. Will replace the word master as the default branch name for new repositories. You know what? If you go to GitHub, there is no master anymore. Now it's called code. And you have like a local code space, but it's not master anymore. It was called master before. Okay. Conditions. Now let's continue and add our goal implementing scrolling. Go into Object Player Events window and click Add Event. Under the step, you will see 3 events and you need to select one that simply says step. It will be added to your object. Object Player. Add event. Step. Reminding you to keep yourself hydrated and drink above water. So, this one runs every frame, so the action you add here will constantly run for the instance. Actions in this event run unconditionally, but we want to add our own conditions to them to check if the player is jumping up and check if it's in the upper half of the screen. Hydro homies. The track is so mean.
Suffering.
It is so mean. Okay. There was somewhere here. What do you mean Master Chief? He's not Master Chief, he's Doomslayer. Chief is from Halo. So, for that purpose, we have the F variable action, which checks whether a variable meets a certain condition. That we can connect actions to that action so that they run when the condition is met. That is so confusing. Then we can connect actions to that action so that they run when the condition is met. As you can see in the image above, this action acts as a condition. When the condition is met, any actions connected to it on the right are executed. This means that if that condition is not met, then those actions simply won't run. Duh. I hate this word. I hate it so much. To scroll the view, we want to add a few things. To give the player upward speed, turn that around so it becomes a downward speed. Apply the downward speed to the window so it moves up, down. That is even more confusing. Okay. It's not, what do you mean it sounds simple? Turn that around so it becomes a downward speed. But we also need to apply a condition to these actions. That condition will check if the player is moving up, because we only want the room to scroll when the player is jumping, not falling. Okay, now it makes sense. So, whenever the player is moving up, the whole room is moving down. But when the player is moving down, the whole room is not moving anywhere. It's just letting the player fall. Okay. In the step events toolbox, search for the F variable action and drop it into the event. The variable that we need to check is v speed, the player's vertical speed. So enter that into the variable field. The is option will be at equal by default. This lets us check whether the variable's value is equal to some other value. But we want to check if the speed is less than 0. If you remember, we set the instance's vertical speed to -35 to make it jump up. So this means that if the player is still jumping, its vertical speed should be negative. So we need to check if it's less than 0. Okay. Less. Here this field to less and the value field answer 0. Now our condition checks if the speed is less than 0. Wow. Is it 0 modulus? Now we are going to attach some actions to see if variable action to the if variable action so that they run when the condition is true. As previously mentioned, we need to get the player's upward speed and turn it around. In the toolbox, search for the declare temp and add that action to the event. Make sure to attach it to the right on the if variable. Temp. I don't even remember this track. Using this action, we can declare or create a temp variable. Such a variable only exists for the current event and is not available after that. We want to create a temp variable to store the downward speed and the name field. Enter downward speed, which will be our variable's name. In the value field, enter -v speed. Down speed. V speed. Perfect. V speed stores the player's vertical speed, and since it's jumping up, we made V speed will be negative. To turn the speed around, we use the negative sign, and since this value is already negative, it will result in a positive number. That number will be saved into our down speed variable. Oh, I had it. I knew some guy. I can't remember who it was now, but instead of variable, he was saying variable. It got me so confused. Like, I was... Variable? Variable. You typed variable. So, now we want to apply this downward speed to the window, so it moves down. You might remember that we created an object called object move parent to group those objects that we need to move down. We're going to apply our downward movement to the parent object so that it is automatically applied to all of its children. In the toolbox, search the set instance variable. Oh, wait. I wasn't supposed to do that. Variable? Again, like, it could be read as variable. Like an American variable, you know? Set instance variable. Set instance, there we go. I'm getting tired. I'm getting really tired. Drop is on the same chain. Okay. There we go. Before we modify any of the conditions of the action's properties, we need to think about what it will do. We want to use this action to move the windows. However, we are inside the player object, so it will move the player. To apply this action to object move parent instead, click on the little arrow to the right of the action's name, which will open the Asset Explorer. This window will allow us to select an object to which this action will apply. Since we want to move any objects assigned to object move parent, go into the object group and click on the object move parent. No. Object. There we go. You'll notice that your action now has a pink border. It does, indicating that it will be applied to another instance. Now set the variable field to y coordinate and the value field to down speed. Y. Down speed. This should be correct. This will move the instance on the y-axis by the amount stored in the down speed variable. In short, the windows will now move down. This is what our step event should look like at this point. Okay, it looks pretty similar. If you run your game now, you will see the windows move down. However, they don't wait for the player to get to the middle of the screen first. They do not. Why do they not? I can't even control the game anymore. Looks like this entire thing broke it. Let's try. Now it works. Great. Let's add an v speed less than value 0. Down speed minus v speed. Y coordinate down speed. Let's try to remove this one. Is it gonna work? It works. So there is something wrong with this one. There we go. Goodbye. I fixed it. I'm so good. Where was I? I think this is a good place to end because I am physically unable to continue. So thanks for coming. Thanks for the sub, Mr. Crack, Spider, Poi. I'm just super tired. I streamed like 5 hours today. That's like a bit more than I usually stream, you know? So yeah, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, tell about me, share me with your grandparents, granddad, grandmoms, all of your friends. Tell them to like, follow, sub, all of that stuff. Donate if you want. I have a couple of donate buttons. And see you all next time. Bye.